What it do, snackers, snackettes, and snack X's? It's your boy Gage. We're here at Blerdcon 2024. I'm with the incredible Ahmed. Thank you so much.
Gage.
Giving us your time, hanging out with us a little bit. My first question for you is, have you ever been to a con quite like this before?
No, this is my first real diversity con.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. You know, I grew up a Blerd.
Yeah.
And it's good to know that my people
We're out here.
congregate.
That we're out here?
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
there's a place for us to be in the same space. You know, I was just talking about this with Jay Lee just yesterday. You know, a lot of times when black folks are at these cons and we're in cosplay, we become targets, right?
Sure.
You know, it's all of a sudden everybody's commenting how we look and how we dress.
You're not the right color to play that character. And,
right body, and why does it have to be black, and blah, 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 blah. And there's a bit of a psychic safety here.
Sure.
When it comes to that. And it's wonderful to see.
Yeah.
You know,
it's very different from other spaces. We do a lot of conventions, and it's very different from other spaces. It feels like home, kind of like a homecoming. Like you know what I mean?
It's a relaxed, relaxed atmosphere.
Very chill.
And honestly, this is the best cosplay I've ever seen.
Really? Yeah. What's your favorite thing you've seen?
Cosplay wise?
Yeah.
Oh man. You know, I can't pick a favorite because I just love the creativity of everything. Yeah. And I feel like everybody's going hard on the cosplay.
They are.
You know, there's like, and a lot of the other ones that I've seen, the cosplay has been like sparse throughout. You know? This one is like almost mandatory.
Yeah, it's like part of it.
Yeah, part of it is having to cosplay.
I want to talk a little bit about music with you.
Yeah.
Can we talk about jazz holes?
Sure.
You got bars.
You know, I had bars. It's been a while since I spit as many bars as I did back in the day.
Is that something you would want to do again?
Yeah, for sure.
What's keeping you?
You know, Jazz Hole's supposed to have a reunion. I don't know if it's still going on, but the last I heard on the Jazz Hole thread that there was supposed to be a reunion. But you know, every once in a while I'll show up and guest on something.
Yeah.
And I'll spit on something. But again, I'm kind of like, you know, I'm kind of like Three Stacks. It's like there's a way now. I'm in another.
You somewhere else a little bit.
I'm somewhere else now, and
I mean,
my bars will be different now.
That's
like,
okay.
if anything, you know.
At the time, was that where you wanted to go creatively? That was music was your
music was my thing, and you know, I went to Manhattan School of Music, and I really loved it. And we did 3 Jazz Hole records.
Yeah.
The last one was the EP, but you know, we were really on the cusp of something pretty special at the time. But music, the business changed.
Oh yeah.
You know, so it was very difficult to be as experimental as we were and as diverse as we were.
Yeah.
And, you know, there was a lot of people in that band. So it was hard to keep it together.
Yeah.
You know.
It's tough to manage that.
It was really, really tough to manage. But as far as like, you know, lyrics, I've always been a lyricist since I was very young. You know?
That's where your love is.
Yeah, I grew up in the South Bronx, and hip hop started on my block.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
So I've always been, and I'm still cool with a lot of cats. You know, I was watching this documentary about ciphers in Washington Square Park in the '90s, and I was seeing like Yasin spit, and Talib Kweli spit, and I remember I was watching it with my son. And he was like, "Hey, Dad, have you ever seen this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm right over there."
Yeah.
And the camera panned, and
you were right there.
I'm in the cipher. So
what did he think about that?
He loves it.
Yeah.
My son is really big. He's 15 now, but he's like really big into like '90s hip hop. He's really into the Wu-Tang Clan.
That's interesting.
Like he's huge into the Wu-Tang Clan.
Okay.
Which is like crazy.
Would you have expected that? Would you have ever thought that it would come full circle like that fast? That like your son would be into the '90s hip hop scene? Would you?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had it going a lot. Like I had it playing a lot, and you know, New Yorkers as hip hop people, we're snobs.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's good as New York rap.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like.
Sure. But you did just call out like Three Stacks. That's Atlanta. Like that's
the dirty, right?
But it started changing. Like
it really did.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah.
But you know,
who are your favorite lyricists?
You asking me for my top 5 right now?
I mean, it could be top 3, but
Yes, top 3.
okay.
Um, oof. It changes all the time.
Okay.
It changes all
That's
the
fair
time.
though, because I think it should fluctuate.
I'll tell you who my favorite lyricist of all time is.
Okay.
Black Thought.
Listen, me and him fight about that all the time.
Black Thought.
I'm like, and I'm originally from Philly, so like I love Black Thought, love the old roots. Like that's just
There's
where I am.
nobody better.
100%.
Rakim was my number 1.
Okay.
And I love Rakim
Okay.
because we are.
Yeah.
He was kind of the first to spit the way he spit.
Yeah.
But Rakim is my number 2. Black Thought is my number 1.
Where did the jazz influence come from? Like that infusion of that's kind of like an acid jazz. I mean, there was
Yeah,
stuff like that. Like Jazzmatazz kind of was on that cusp. And,
Jamiroquai,
yeah. Like
Galliano, Ronnie Size.
what
Ronnie
kind of
Jordan.
had you in that? Yeah. Like the jazz side of it is who your favorite jazz artist?
Well, I'm a jazz musician, and I grew up. My father is a huge jazz aficionado, so there was jazz records playing all the time.
Okay.
And my drum teacher, my first drum teacher, his name was Warren Smith, and Warren used to play in this percussion ensemble called Boom, and the leader was in the ensemble was Max Roach.
Oh, okay.
So when I was a kid, I used to hang out with them. So I would hang out with all the cats,
Yeah,
you know, and
yeah.
it'd be like Max was there, and I would watch them put together music, you know, and it was just a huge influence on me. So
Makes sense.
yeah, so jazz has always been a part of my life ever since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And you know, I started playing out like professionally at 15.
Okay.
You know, and so being around a lot of jazz cats and coming up in the environment, just being a kid in the environment, listening, it just really got into my DNA.
How did that? Was the transition like into acting, and so was that natural? Did
Yeah.
that come from like you did time to Stomp. I love Stomp.
Thank
Was that a natural transition into that for you?
Very,
also?
yeah,
Like,
very. You know, I believe creativity transcends medium.
sure.
So if you're creative in one thing, you can be creative in another thing. You just apply that process to that technique. So for me, I'd always been doing both at the same time. I'd always been acting and playing at the same time.
Okay.
So it was very natural, and Stomp was like the perfect amalgamation of both.
Yeah.
So as soon as I found Stomp, I was like, I found my way.
Yeah.
That thing.
Yeah.
You know, so it was really natural for me.
It made it easy.
Yeah.
In terms of like, again, a convention like this, a diverse convention like this, right? What kind of changes do you want to see, or do you think are necessary within the industries that you're in, be it music, be it acting, to help kind of push the diversity in a direction?
Yeah, I mean, we really have to start owning these titles. We really have to start owning these ideas and shows, and you know, they call it IP in the industry, but I hate that term. You know,
Yeah.
I just really hate it because it downgrades what it actually is, which is like visions of the future. And we don't necessarily, as Black people, have ownership of the voice that creates a lot of these characters. They're, you know, the gatekeepers of the makers, of the making things, you know, to reach large audiences, really try to slow that progress down. Right? They try to quiet that voice.
100%.
So
the internet being the internet.
Yeah, and you know, the industry being the industry, it's just very challenging because the gatekeepers of the industry that don't necessarily look like us, or
And they
they
don't
segregate us to
and
they segregate us to a small part of the industry rather
100%.
than, you know, opening up to all of us writ large. But you can't have a blockbuster without Black people. You know, you can't have anything massive without Black people.
Yeah.
And we are a loyal audience, and we are an audience that, you know, comes out and pays for our stuff and our content. So there's a lot of cosplay going on, but the Black characters that we cosplay are very few and far between.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think we need to really start pushing more creativity out, so that we can also control the narrative.
Like that.
You know?
Supporting each other. So
Yeah,
that we can
supporting
get
each
that
other,
lift.
financing each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
financing becomes the hardest part of all of it because, you know, everybody's looking for a rate of return. So, you know, and you know, we usually 10x our budgets.
Yeah.
Anytime we get money to make something, we turn that money 10 times larger.
Yeah.
On average,
Okay.
you know. So I think it really, we have to start believing that for ourselves,
Knowing that we can do it.
knowing that we can do it,
Yeah.
funding it, and putting it out there, distribute it, and not thinking that we need the gatekeepers of all of it.
Yeah. 100%. Listen,
Yep.
I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. I'm gonna send our followers, our viewers, to make sure they follow you. Where should people go if they
Yeah.
keep tabs on what you're doing, your projects, what you got going on?
Yeah, mostly Instagram at best Ahmed is pretty much the only social I use.
Okay.
I'm trying to do TikTok, but I think I've aged out. My son is good at it.
Let
I'm
him
not.
do it for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that.
Let him do it for you.
But some of my academic work you can find on AfroRhythmFuturesGroup.com.
Okay.
And all the stuff that I do as a futurist and Afrofuturist
Yeah.
is there.
Yeah.
And then just say what up on IG.
Indeed. Looking forward to doing that, man. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you again. We're out.
Thank you,
Toodaloo.
guys.
What it do, snackers and snackettes? Did you like what you just saw? Would you like to help us grow? Here's what you can do. Shoot over to patreon.com/loading snacks. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on your favorite platform of choice. Appreciate you.